our Talk to the Governor segment. Live in studio. First off, happy Thanksgiving, Governor.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
We should get an early start on that.
Yep.
Well, it certainly seems to be the thing that a lot of folks are talking about. We already touched on it earlier on the show. The Pentagon has announced an investigation into Arizona's senior senator, Mark Kelly. Tell me where you come down on this, Governor, please.
I am not sure what the uproar is about. If you're not issuing illegal orders, I'm not sure why what he said is so bad. And Senator Kelly is someone who has served in the military. He has a lengthy military career where he flew many combat missions as a Navy pilot. He was an astronaut. In those roles, he swore an oath to the Constitution, as has every member of the armed forces. As a senator, he's sworn an oath to the Constitution. That is, he and his family have made so many sacrifices in service to our country. His wife was shot serving her constituents. And it's outrageous. And I don't know what all the uproar is about unless it's a distraction from the fact that people's prices keep going up. And that's really what I think the president should focus on, is making things more affordable, creating jobs, making life better for Americans.
I think Republicans are saying it insinuates that Trump is or may break the law. The one thing that the Democrats were, they were vague. They didn't specifically say vague. This is what we think he's breaking the law on. And hey, if you're a service member, make sure you know that you can say,
don't do this.
I'm not going to do it. Does that make any sense? That they were so vague, and they also probably did it to certainly tweak the president.
Well, look, all of these service members that they were talking to have also sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution. That is what their loyalty is to. And I think this was a reminder of that. Nobody said illegal orders are being issued. And again, if you're not doing that, then why are you worried about this?
Have you spoken to Senator Kelly?
I have.
What was the conversation about?
I mean, it was more over text. I just, signaled my support. It's unthinkable that this is going on right now.
Do you think that this stresses him out? Because I've seen him on some interviews, and he said, listen, I've had something blow up near my plane.
Yeah.
I've been in missiles. Yeah. But I've got to believe that, this is not an easy thing. This, I would assume, is
to have the president threaten to have you hung?
Yeah, I would think that would be stressful.
He didn't tell me that. What his words to me were, and he said this publicly, I'm not backing down. They're trying to intimidate me, and I'm not going to back down. And I applaud him for that.
Governor Hobbs is joining us in studio. You can watch it on our KTAR YouTube page. I told Meghan McCain this yesterday. She joins us Mondays at 5. I think what Trump has done is elevate Senator Kelly. If Senator Kelly wanted to run for president, okay, now he's taking on Trump. Do you think, and the Pentagon, and the FBI, by the way, they're talking about, bringing in all the people who were involved in the video to do an FBI sit-down interview. Do you think this elevates Senator Kelly, this fight with the president?
Well, look, if you're asking if I think he intended to do that, I can't speak to his intentions. I think that the president...
Kelly? I don't think Kelly intended to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I do think the president gets distracted with the wrong things. And what I hear all the time from Arizonans is they want lower costs. They're not seeing that happen. He's engaging in a trade war that is creating uncertainty and higher prices for families and businesses and farmers and everyone. And he's not taking action to change that. And that's where his focus should be. And this is all a distraction.
But this is what happens with this White House. It's Epstein. It's, Trump has told us, well, grocery prices are down. We know that's BS. I shouldn't say that in front of a government.
I don't know. I wonder when the last time was he bought eggs.
Right, and I think most presidents probably, wasn't
Don't
there
hang out in grocery stores.
Right.
famous George Herbert Walker Bush? Remember that he went.
Didn't know how the
Had no
the
idea.
scanner worked, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I get it.
So let's turn the page on Kelly. Prices, Arizona, small businesses, and you're running for reelection.
Yeah.
So what are you hearing from the people, that are saying, hey, listen, our prices are outrageous. Everything is higher. What are they saying?
I hear that all the time. And I think, our economy in Arizona is doing better than a lot of other states. Moody just issued a report last week showing that nearly half of states are facing or in a recession, and Arizona is one of a few states that's still growing. So I'm taking action to make sure we stay in that position. But I also hear from people across the state that costs are too high. They're worried about uncertainty and chaos coming out of the White House that's contributing to that. So, we are facing headwinds from Washington that jeopardize our continued progress and moving forward. And I think I'm hearing that consistently across the state, and that's the kind of thing that I worry about.
Governor Hobbs, what are the industries that are growing? Where is the growth in Arizona coming from? I know we always hear about the chips and TSMC, for example. Where is that growth going to come from?
Well, certainly the high-tech manufacturing sector is driving a lot of the growth, helping create a lot of good-paying jobs in our state. We've seen, record-breaking investment from TSMC. But it's not just the big companies like TSMC. It's a lot of mid to smaller size companies along the supply chain that are moving here to be a part of the ecosystem we're building with chips and other high tech manufacturing. But we're also doing things to protect homegrown Arizona businesses like Axon, the bill we passed last session that will keep them here, keep their 5,000 plus jobs from going to Texas or Florida. Those are we've done a lot to diversify the economy. So we're not just service-based, building-based, tourism-based, but these high-tech sectors that are the economy of the future are going to continue to grow here.
Governor Katie Hobbs joining us in studio. I assume you have the state of the state in January.
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Number one issue for you, for the state in 2026.
Well, not a lot has. I think priorities are still the same around addressing housing affordability, lowering costs in general. You're going to hear a lot about healthcare because we're facing some uncertainty about healthcare. Hundreds of thousands of Arizonans losing their Medicaid. Insurance rates skyrocketing on the marketplace because the subsidies weren't renewed. TBD if that happens or not. And just continuing to grow jobs and make sure that Arizona continues to be the best place to live, work, and raise a family. I've done a lot in all of those areas, but there's more to do. And, we're facing a challenging budget year because of the cuts from Washington, not just on healthcare, but across the board. And so we're going to have to make some tough choices around budgeting.
So you're saying that your expectation for 2026 is that the Arizona state budget is going to have to be cut in some way, shape, or form? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we're seeing a lot of federal funding cut, whether it's universities, SNAP benefits, healthcare, just a lot of different ways.
Outspoken exclusive with Governor Katie Hobbs joins us every 2 weeks in studio for Talk to the Governor. We see a lot of the videos with ICE all over the country. Yeah. And some of it looks pretty bad. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that they're getting some bad people. Okay, I can acknowledge that. Yeah. But when they're dragging out somebody from a car and that person ends up being an American, why are we seeing that in Phoenix? We have not seen that here. Is there a reason for that?
When President Trump won the election, I went to the border. I highlighted the work we're doing on border security. I signaled my willingness to work with the federal government on border security, and we've done that. And since then, I announced Operation Desert Guardian, which is a statewide effort, intelligence-driven, focused on cartel activity. The federal government and Homeland Security are partnering with us on that. That is being proactive and focusing on the border security that Arizona needs. And, you'd have to ask the president what where he's targeting enforcement and why. But I can say that on border security, things are working well. And I think that's what the president ran on, and getting, the worst of the worst out. This mass immigration enforcement that we're seeing, dragging people out that are contributing members of their communities, that are paying taxes, that aren't committing crimes, that's not making us safer. And I think that's not what people voted for.
You think ICE is out of control?
I think ICE is responding to the situation that they're in and taking orders from their leadership.
But do you think they're doing a good job, or are they out of control?
Well, I don't think that rounding up people that aren't committing crimes is making us safer.
Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs is joining us on KTAR.
Yeah. Listen, we got to get into the important questions. So.
These are all important.
They're all important.
I got more.
Thanksgiving's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm underhanding it to you.
All right. Governor, you're at Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
And you are at the dining room table. And you're seated at a table with Biggs, Robeson, and Schweikert.
Oh, wow.
What's your icebreaker?
What is everybody thankful for?
Okay. What do you think they'd say?
That I have no idea.
No idea? Like, would you say, I'm going to stomp all three of you into the ground? Would you,
come
talk
on.
trash? Or I'm just wondering, or you guys are going to be, you play it nice. You guys are going to be tough. I know I'm going to have to take on one of the three of you guys.
Here's the question I have for all three of these folks running.
There we go.
Look, I am laser focused on what I'm hearing from Arizonans every day. I'm focused on delivering for Arizonans, whether it's housing affordability, securing our water, securing the border, lowering costs. And I have yet to hear an idea from any of them about how we do that, how we continue moving forward and implement that agenda, which is what I hear from Arizonans that they want. And what I hear from them is defending the tariffs, defending the Medicaid cuts, all things that are going to hurt Arizonans. And I want to hear what their plan is for Arizonans, and I haven't heard that.
Yeah, there's a new poll out that says Andy Biggs leads the gubernatorial field, 50% support. This is a survey of Arizona Republican primary voters. So Andy Biggs, 50%, followed by Karen Taylor Robeson, 17%, and Schweikert at 8%. Is Schweikert going to be in this race at the end, or is he going to fizzle out?
Well, has he already fizzled out, maybe?
At 8%, it's not very good yet, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, I think he was facing a losing prospect of not being able to win reelection, and maybe decided this was
his house seat.
a less embarrassing way to go out. But yeah, I don't think he breaks double digits.
Interesting. Governor Katie Hobbs in studio. Let me go to something serious. Department of Child Safety.
Yes.
Is there an update? We usually, when you come in, we always ask for an update.
Yeah.
We had a horrible year. 3 children tortured and murdered. Big changes need to happen. We all know that. You haven't been able to give us much of anything with new information. Do you have anything for us today?
Yeah. So what I can tell you is that DCS has concluded their internal review, and the review that was conducted is something that happens every time there's a significant incident, like Rebecca Baptiste death, and it was across all the systems, and I think not surprisingly, there's a lot of turnover at DCS. There's there's training issues, and so a lot of the things within the system that can be implemented to make improvements are already underway. There is an outside expert looking at how we assess for safety, which could have maybe changed things at the hotline, taking the calls. There are some external factors like mandatory reporters not providing enough complete information for them to, which I think was the case here. There are issues with how judges and the lawyers involved in these cases interact with DCS, and so working on improved communication and relationships there will be helpful. So those things are all underway already.
Will these be big changes? Do you think this is going to be a fundamental shift inside DCS? Because I think a lot of people looking at it from the outside say, this isn't just cutting it around the edges. We need some real change.
Yeah, no, I think that these are system-wide things that will improve response and treatment for across the board for folks who rely on DCS to protect the children who need it, and for folks that are in DCS care. And then I don't have specifics about potential legislative changes, but I know there have been productive conversations around some legislative changes that might need to happen as well.
Governor Hobbs, appreciate your time. Thank you for coming in again. Talk to the governor. We do it every couple of weeks. And Governor Hobbs, gracious with your time. We do appreciate it. And again, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, Governor.
All right.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.